Okay, everyone, we're going to start in a minute, just getting our streaming set up, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, start stream. Okay, everyone, welcome to the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director, and we are going to teach you how to master stock earnings reports via futures. My name is Lee Goldstein, and I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. And thank you very much for joining with me today. Let me just turn on my recorder and start that over. Here we go. Thanks, everybody, for coming into the room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. And we're going to master stock earnings reports via futures. That's our plan for today. Please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, please. Okay, let's get started. So just as a reminder, we are using NinjaTrader, the platform to trade futures. I've also got a multi-broker account where I am looking at actual stock price of Tesla and a couple other things that I want to talk to you about as we go on. So I'm looking at Tesla on the right. I've got multiple connections. I have a thinkorswim account also, and I look at thinkorswim charts. So a whole bunch of tools that I use to help me trading these stock earnings reports. Remember, I'm using the NQ futures as a proxy for the stock. I'm not trading stocks. A lot of people get very confused and they say, hey, you're trading stocks, you're trading options. Nope, trading futures. Okay, now a couple of things that we need to be concerned about. I don't know why people are getting black screens. If you have a problem, you just got to re-log in, try using a different browser. But unfortunately, I'm not able to tech support the trade room if you have a black screen. So keep that in mind. Try a different browser, but it is working properly for the majority of everyone here. Every now and then, I don't know why, we have this black screen issue. I've got to talk to tech support. Okay, try a different browser. All right, so I'm looking at thinkorswim. I want to go over all the tools that I'm using. So once again, the NinjaTrader platform, trading futures. That's number one. Number two, we have to figure out how to figure out what the setup's going to be. And even before that, we need to know who and when is doing earnings. When are they coming out? One of the best sites that I like is earningswhispers.com. There are multiple sites that people can use, of course. I just like Earnings Whispers. It's very simple. They have a great calendar, and they make it pretty easy to find out when the earnings are. And there is an issue today. I've got to be aware, try to be aware, that IBM is also releasing their earnings, as is Alcoa. But let's be honest, what's really going to move the market in a major way is Tesla. So the goal here is Tesla will release their earnings before any other super huge company that might move the market. Certainly, I don't anticipate any other company moving the market enough to push me into a trade. That's at least what we're thinking. You never know what's going to happen, but there are no other companies releasing at 405 with the power of Tesla to move the market that we're trading. But I am just going to keep an eye on IBM. Dave, thanks for letting me know, because I think it is a browser issue with that black screen. Raphael, I don't know if you're here, but that's definitely something to try, different browsers. So getting back to tools, I'm using earningswhispers.com as a major tool just to help me figure out who and when is releasing earnings. The big challenges that we have trading earnings, and that anybody has trading earnings, unless you're trading, setting up trades with options, where it doesn't matter as much as it does to us the exact moment that things take place. For us, it's important the exact moment that things take place, because we're setting up a trade that is going to trigger the instant that Tesla releases their earnings. So it's very important to us to be in sync. So another tool that I use is, some form of Windows sync. I need to check my computer to see that I'm in sync. And I do that by going to the website time.is. And that shows me that my computer is in sync. So I don't have to do anything else to put myself in sync. Now, another tool, and I won't forget, there are tools that you can use to put yourself in sync. And in our trade room, we have a taskbar, and there's a little picture of a room drive. Okay? There's a picture of a room drive. And in that file folder, because that's what it is, it's a file folder, is a program called Dimension 4, D4 time. And if your computer is not in sync, you can install Dimension 4, and that program will help put you in sync. That's one of the tools that we use to make sure that we're in sync. Of course, the major tool that we use is our software, JOBB version 10, so I can set up my actual Tesla trade. And I'm going to do what we call a breakout trade. And this trade is based on the research I've done studying Tesla's earnings as much as humanly possible. Tesla, about a year ago, did not really release their earnings the way that most companies do. They were releasing earnings at 4:45, 5:20, all different times. As of late, they have started to release their earnings at a very specific time. One of the challenges of earnings is it's never totally guaranteed that the earnings are going to come out exactly when we expect. And it is one of the issues that we know we have to deal with. We might miss an earnings trade. We might not be ready for an earnings trade. Anything could happen, just like in any trade. So we do our best using the research we have to figure what's going to happen. And I'll show you a couple of Tesla previous trades. So here's what I believe. I believe that we could put our orders on the chart at 16:03, and we'll have less than a minute for Tesla to release their earnings. So that's the setup that I'm based around. I'm trusting our research that showed that Tesla hasn't done their earnings before 16:04, at least in the last 3 quarters. Okay, so that's what I'm basing my trade on. So my activation time is going to be 16:03, and I might do it slightly different today, and I'll explain what I'm going to do. And I'm going to have multiple targets, multiple positions, and I'm not going to tell you how many targets to use, and I'm not going to tell you how many positions you should trade. That's personal by the size of your account, the risk you want to take. But I will tell you the time that I believe the orders should go on the chart, or at least not any later than that. And I'll certainly tell you the stop that I think should be used. I'm using a 65 tick stop, and I'm trading 3 different positions. But I don't think everybody needs to trade the exact same targets. It's just not necessary. You could trade, ranges in your targets, somewhere around 20 ticks for the first target, somewhere around 35 ticks for the second target, and somewhere around 65, 70 ticks for your third target. it's up to you. You don't have to trade the same exact targets that I trade. Okay, so that's important. And in fact, you don't want everybody trading the same everything. So use a range, between 20 and 80 ticks, and disperse it, in between the number of contracts that you're going to trade. But what I think is important is orders should be on the chart by 4:03. And look, if Tesla decides to release their earnings at 16:02, I might miss the trade. But I'm going to do it a little bit differently today, just for me personally. I'm going to not put my order on the chart. But let me backtrack first. What I like to do first is set up my trade, which I'm doing. 16:03 is my entry time. I'm using a target, 3 different positions, targets of 23, 33, and 69. And I've got a stop of 65. But I like to look at my bracket before I get completely set. And I'll show you what I mean. I actually want to see my bracket on the chart, because when the orders go on the chart, I may have to adjust them. So what do I mean? Now, what I mean is, first off, I've got to test my time by making it 0 so that my orders show up on the chart. So that bracket is not wide enough for me. I need wider because I want to just have plenty of space. I want plenty of space to adjust. Okay, so that's how I want my charts set to go. Now, what I was saying is I might do it a little bit differently today, in that I might leave my charts, my time at 0. And so what does that mean? If my time is 0, just by enabling my trade, it'll then put my orders on the chart. The reason I might do that is because sometimes I think I can tell sometimes if the earnings are just about to come out, and if Tesla is doing it at a totally unexpected time. I'm not married to my 16:03 entry. So what do I mean by that? If I set my time to 0 instead of 16:03, I could watch the Tesla chart here. And if I think the earnings are coming out and it's 16:02 and 50 seconds, all I have to do is click the enabled button and my brackets, my orders are on the chart. And then I can manipulate them and move them around as I see fit. So that's how I'm going to do the Tesla trade. Just hoping I don't forget to turn the trade on before, 16:03 and 40 seconds. All right. So it's just one more thing to think about. But I would like to have the flexibility of being able to turn my trade on when I want to. Only because we haven't been trading Tesla as often as we've been trading other earnings. So it is possible that maybe they might not adhere to the time that they say they're going to do it. However, or the time that we've seen them do it. But keep in mind also, I'm not going to chase. If I miss the trade, I'm not going to put it on late. If I miss it, I miss it, and we go on to the next thing to do. It's just the way it is. All right, let me just give you an idea of what a Tesla trade might look like. This was Tesla last quarter. And I'm just fast forwarding to 16:03. I had put the orders on the chart well before 16:03 that day. But it seems to me that it's perfectly okay to wait until 16:03. Let me just make sure I'm not losing my mind. See how nothing happened until 16:03 and about 20 something seconds. Watch. 16:03:27, Tesla released their earnings. And it took a few seconds for the price to shoot up on the NQ. Okay. That's the kind of behavior we're expecting. I'm expecting to get pulled into the trade when their earnings come out. That's the goal, to get pulled into the trade. I'm also using Thinkorswim charts to keep an eye on IBM. IBM is scheduled to come out at 4:10. Tesla is scheduled to come out at 4:05, but it's a very ballpark schedule. It's not in stone by any means. In fact, it's just a pre-announced time, and you can't expect it to be adhered to, because it's not going to be 4:05. It'll, at least according to what I think, it's going to be 4:03 and something. It should be out before 4:04. So at least that's what we're hoping in terms of the release time. We know that release of earnings is just something we deal with. So we'll see. We'll take it as it comes. Sometimes every now and then we could gather everyone here, build up, and it's nothing exciting happens. So most of the time, though, that's not the case, and we should have an exciting Tesla trade. Okay, so I'll go over the setup again as we get closer. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it again because I'm going to put my charts on live. So Tesla is a breakout trade. If you want to wait, you can put the time of 16:03. I've got a bracket of 50, and I've got targets of 23, 33, and 69. And in fact, on my first target, I'm going to do 19. So I got 19, 33, and 69. I've got a stop of 65. That's my trade. I'm trading real money in a live account. So 16:03, in other words, 3 minutes after 4 o'clock, I'm expecting Tesla, 16:03, okay? Everybody get that? Everybody get that? I'm trading at 0 anyway. So what does that mean? That means at 16:03, when the clock is at 16:03, I'm going to turn my orders on, okay, at 16:03. Am I losing my mind, folks? Nope, 16:03. Right? That's the time. My bracket is 50. My bracket is 50. My bracket's 50. And I've got a stop of 65. So, but what I'm going to do is when the clock ticks 16:03, I'm going to click my enable button, and my orders are going to show up on the chart. Okay, so I'm going to do it manually. And I need to make, is like I showed you before, that there will be some, market movement at 4 o'clock, but I don't anticipate Tesla to do their earnings or to release their earnings until 16:03 and about 20 to 30 seconds. I'm not trading IBM, Michael, so I'm keeping an eye on IBM so that it doesn't get in our way. I mean, there's always the possibility that IBM could release their earnings just before Tesla, and it could make it unsafe to trade. If it makes it unsafe to trade, then I'll cancel my trade. I won't put it on. I want to keep an eye on IBM. IBM does not normally move the market in the manner that Tesla does, but it, you know, it certainly could have an effect. It could have an effect. That's why I want to keep an eye on it. So keep in mind, folks, you're using me as your squawk box. I have a squawk box in my ear, and it tells me when the earnings come out. I'm using a website called Financial Juice Pro, and they have a squawk box, and I'll hear in my earpiece when the earnings come out. But I also, you know, you're using my chart, my Tesla chart. You'll be able to see when those Tesla earnings come out. Because look at another previous Tesla trade. This was 2 quarters ago, okay? And again, Tesla doesn't come out, 1603, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So I'm going to put my orders on the chart around 1603, and we should have 20, 30 seconds before the earnings come out. You know, it could be like when we watched Goldman Sachs. They were 3 minutes later than what we thought. So we were just watching our orders, keeping the orders away from being filled. And you could see 2 quarters ago in April, Tesla was slow, okay? 1603, 36 seconds, nothing's going on yet. I don't really, you know, there's some activity in the stock price. So it can get very nerve-wracking. And I will try to tell you the minute that I see the earnings come out. You know, you most of the time will know when they come out because we'll get pulled into the trade. So I'll try to keep my orders far enough from the price so I don't get pulled into the trade. Just like it's doing here now. 2 quarters ago, they didn't release their earnings till after 1604. It makes it challenging because the price, there it goes. The earnings came out 1604.21. Pulled us into the trade, okay? So that's the idea of what's going to happen. That's the idea. We don't know, it's clear that we don't know for sure. Are the earnings going to come out at 1603 and 29 seconds? I can't tell you that. All I can say is we anticipate the earnings 1603, between 1603 and 1604-ish. Last 2 quarters ago, they were 1604.20. So that's, but we know from our research that I don't think I've ever seen it recently anyway, since we started adding Tesla. I don't think I've seen a trade after 1605. So that's my anticipation, but I'm prepared. Whatever it is, you know, I'll just try to keep manipulating the orders as long as we have to, until hopefully you get pulled into the trade. That's the idea. And, you know, the volatility of the NQ, once it hits 4 o'clock, it should calm down quite a bit, okay? Quite a bit. You know, right now you've got the market close getting ready to take place. The NQ is volatile. I'm going to check my time sync once more by going to the website time is. Now my time is off. I'm going to use the program Dimension 4 right here. I'm going to close my sync and I'm going to click the Sync Now button on Dimension 4, and I'm going to watch the synchronized button to see that it puts me in sync by changing the value of the synchronized button. And if it doesn't, you know, I hope I don't have to spend a whole bunch of time syncing my machine. The value changed. Sometimes you just have to press that button like 30 times like a lunatic and just keep pressing it. Then I go back to time.is, and now I'm in sync. And that's the tool Dimension 4. It's a great little tool. You could also use a program called Karen's Time Sync. You can Google that one. 2 free tools that will help put your computer in sync. So now really I'm going to wait. I'm going to try to relax and wait until 4:03. At 4:03, I'm going to press the enabled button, And then I'm going to watch my orders and try to keep them away from being filled until we get pulled into the market on Tesla's earnings. And that's the process. Okay, we're using the NQ as a proxy. Using the NQ as a proxy. When we first started doing this years ago, we kind of laugh about the way our charts looked. I didn't even know at that time. It was probably four years ago. I don't think we even had a multi-broker NinjaTrader account then. I didn't know it was possible to sync my current NinjaTrader platform to another broker. So I actually have my TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim brokerage account hooked up to my NinjaTrader. And I also have Thinkorswim charts open on my other computer as well. So I could see more charts. IBM, for instance, I just want to keep my eye on as many things as possible, but I don't want to make it so complicated that I can't trade or that I forget to do things, okay? And that's the one nice thing about using our software and setting the time to 1603. I don't have to remember to click the button at 1603, but I think I probably could remember that. I can handle that. And then we'll watch. And of course, we would love a great, nice trade. Netflix, we traded yesterday and we had a very nice trade. Like I said, we've been doing this for years. When we first started, I was using the Yahoo website. It didn't even update in real time. It was delayed. And I was using, when I first started connecting the multi-broker account, I didn't know that you had to have the chart set to default 24/7 for the trading hours. And I couldn't understand why I wasn't seeing the data update on the stock charts. But we've learned over time, you know, how to use the tools, and we do our absolute best to have these trades work for us. So we've only got a couple of minutes. The market's going to close, and then we're going to patiently wait. I'm going to watch the right chart, and I'm going to watch my Thinkorswim charts. And I'm going to get quieter as we get closer to the time because it is nerve-wracking. And I'm also listening in my ear so that if the charts don't respond initially and they release their earnings, which doesn't usually happen, but anything could happen. The key is we want to know when the earnings come out so that we can stop doing any manipulation of orders. Once the earnings are out, you basically just let the market, do it for you. Why am I waiting until 1603 to enable? I'm not using it automatically, Wally. I have the time set to 0. I was thinking that if I see the Tesla chart really active, I might want to put my orders on early. But normally I would wait until 1603. If I don't want to be locked into 1603, I can start the trade whenever I want by just clicking the enable button. That's why I'm doing it that way. All right, so it's 15:59. So the market's closed. Or the 4 p.m. close. And now we're just watching and waiting. Now, Tesla has had some strange stock movement prior to earnings before. But I don't recall them ever releasing before 1603. So we're just waiting, just waiting. IBM just came out. IBM just came out. In some ways, that's good. It's out of the way. They are out. And that's part of the issue. Nobody releases their earnings when they say they're going to. I'm still here, just watching. So I'm still here, just watching. So 1603, I'll put my orders on. And see, it's even the squawk boxes don't always know what's going on. The squawk box, they don't know that IBM is out. Now, see, I got filled early. So I had to close that and do it again. That was an early fill. That definitely was not Tesla. So that cost me about 20 bucks, maybe. Wasn't that much. But the markets are very volatile. Markets are volatile. I know it doesn't look it, but it is. So they're out, but they're not going the way I want yet. Not yet. Okay, so look, very, 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 very difficult trade. We made about $585 on that trade. Very, very difficult. 585. Remember, when I started, I didn't tell you, but I lost about $20 on that early fill, and I was down $180 from this morning's trading. My Tesla trade was a $585 profit, and it said it in my Ninja Trader platform. And I'm telling you now, if you look at my price here, I'm up 391, and I was down about 180 or so. Eric my boss, traded with our settings, $430. So an awesome, awesome Tesla trade. Very, very difficult, because that's the first time ever that I got filled early and was able to save the trade. I just was, I got a little luck in that I was able to get out of the other trade. And I don't know if you noticed, I was waiting for it to go positive before I got out, which is a little bit scary, because maybe Tesla's earnings are going to come out before I think. So very, very challenging. So how about a roll call? Who else made money if you traded with us? I know that some of you out there traded with us and made money. Now, 585, if I would have been a little more patient, I might have even done better. But look at the price action. Look at the price action. We were long. So I'm glad I got out, because Tesla ultimately drove the NQ down. Okay. So, and these are the things we don't know. I just don't know for sure what's going to happen. It's not a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? Look at the chart. Tesla went up, and we got pulled in when the chart went up, and then we were out of the trade before it changed direction. So a very good earnings trade. But we're going to go over the video. We'll go over the video. So let's see. Fred made 135. He stayed out until the news. A lot of people made money. Larry made $1,000 trading in his way. That's awesome. People traded with us. Fantastic, fantastic earnings trade. That's two in a row. Let's look at the video, and then I want to talk to everybody about an opportunity that we have if you want to join with us to trade the rest of our earnings trades. So stick around. Let's analyze this trade and look at the video so we understand what happened. Raphael, you made a real $600. Is that real money? Let me render the video. I can't stop shaking. That was the most nerve-wracking Tesla trade I ever took. And I've got to tell you, I don't know what it is about Tesla, but they are always more challenging than other trades. And I don't know why. The stock, maybe it's the weight that the stock has in the NQ might have something to do with it. But you could see I had multiple trades. I had 2 trades. So I got filled early. Let's look at the video. Let's look at the video and figure out exactly what happened here. So here we go. So here's our video. Going to go right to the trade. So look, number one, you've got to trust your research enough not to have to put your orders on at 1600. So I trusted my research enough to wait until 1603. And that's what I did, okay? I didn't put my orders on until 1603. And we waited, but I got a little bit of bad luck. I got filled right there by a burst in the market. And folks, that's 4 contracts. 4 contracts. I was down 250 in 1 second. And then I manipulated it, and I only wound up losing. I lost $20 on that early trade. And then we waited. Tesla, watch, the stock starts to move. And you could sort of see it's getting ready. And the stock kind of gets a little bit fidgety. Watch. It's starting to fidget. I call it pre-release fidgeting. It's a new technical term. Pre-release fidgeting. I'm going to patent it. And then the stock shoots up. we get pulled in. I was a little bit worried. We got pulled in early. It hits my first target, but I could still lose 65 ticks. It's not enough. And there I was very worried because it didn't burst the NQ. And then it hit my second target and boom, it hits my third and I'm 585. I'm still nervous, but I want to give everybody the opportunity to join with us. Give me 5 minutes to present something to you. We showed you how to do this for free.
Lee, hang on. Hey guys, Eric's here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm sorry to stop your thunder. Hey,
No problem.
Yeah, great job, Lee. And for those of, we have a lot of folks on today. So this is Eric Groth. I'm one of the partners here at 10 Minute Trades. Do you want to showcase my trade too, just to see two different perspectives? I already did. And by the way, I have a good sense of humor. So I have another terminology, Lee. I think it's called pre-market ejaculation.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would have said that, but I knew you were here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lee knows that I like to keep things professional. But listen, when we have members that are making more money than us, it calls for some humor. No, it just calls for good times. And I love it. We have members here: Eva, $640, Langford, Larry. I mean, and all these different members have made more than both of us. And you know what? I'm happy about that. I'm really proud of it because that's really what it's all about. Lee and I, I'm behind the scenes. I'm kind of just doing some extra support. We walk what's the expression? We walk the walk. We do what we say. So like I actually also benefit. I also do this. All right, I'm rambling right now. Let's get to the trade. I want folks to see my trade. And I'll do some quick commentary, and then yes, please stick around because Lee's going to go over an opportunity for you to if you want to learn and be with us and do exactly what Lee demonstrated today live, and for the next Q3 earnings workshops, and stick around because we have an amazing opportunity for you. So I actually got filled also early. What was that? Somebody said, Charlie, the pop. Yeah, and I actually didn't lose money on that pop. I actually made $200. So if you want to show that.
So let me see if I can find it on your video.
And yeah, and actually just pause for 1 second, guys. I also have to, well, you go ahead and find it. I think, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I feel that we were very fortunate today because one of the things, Lee, that you did not do yet, which I want to do now, is interpret what happened with Tesla. There was a huge reversal. Tesla stock is down over 6%. So the fact that we were able, I think both of us got filled on the north side, right? I think we were very, very fortunate, but we could interpret that together.
But see, that's
so there it is.
Sort of what happens all the time, Eric. In other words, there's almost always a reversal in the price on these earnings. And we want to get filled on that first move because it's almost always a good enough burst to fill our targets. And then in a sense, we're not that concerned with what that extra move is because we're trading just one trade on these earnings. And that's a whole other
totally
issue
with you.
Too.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, Lee. So in other words, even though we expect, the news came out with the Tesla's earnings and they're, really bad, we're really just focused on that initial reaction. I get it. I'm just happy that the fact that it was a negative result in the earnings release and we got filled on the positive side. I'm happy that we were able to make money there. So let's show everyone.
Your early trade. This is your early trade right here.
Yeah, and I actually did exactly what Lee. I had my settings were for 1603. There it is. I don't panic. I see I have a green number on the board. I don't just hit close. I actually hit the break even button. If you want to pause and show everyone what I did there, I actually did hit the break even button as soon as I saw that I got filled early.
You love that button better than me.
Yes, I do. This is one of the features that we have in our software version 10. And I'm not selling here, guys. I'm just telling you that I took advantage of one of the new features. And what this feature does is, I'm like, shoot, I got filled early. Let me just hit the break even button. So at least if it pulls back, I'll get out with a profit. I hit the break even button, and then I think I ended up hitting the close button. In total transparency, it is nerve wracking, right? And I did hit the close button there. So I was up 195 before Tesla came out. I listened to you, Lee. I heard you said, "Hey, this is not Tesla's release yet." And what did I do? I re-enabled the trade just by one click of the button on the right there. I just clicked enabled, and now I have to do exactly what Lee demonstrated, where I have a buy and a sell, and I'm manipulating them not to get filled. And what happened to Lee is probably what happened to everybody. And what he described about why this was nerve-wracking is that when we do get filled, you're going to see we're going to get filled on the buy side, right? It doesn't just shoot to the moon right away. There's a little bit of a pullback, which is very uncomfortable, especially for Lee trading 4 contracts. I'm only trading 2. So if you traded live, share a few words about if you had the same kind of thing as well. And then there it is. So there it is. Look at that right there. Pause. Do you see what I'm talking about, guys? I'm taking some heat here, right? And this is the real deal. We have to, as Lee said, trust our stop, trust our research. You have to make a decision. Do you want to get out? You don't like that number? What did I do? I respected my stop. Lee respected his stop, and watch what happens.
It's going to take a second.
No worries. So
I backed up a little.
It's okay. Okay, there we go. So I got filled up. I'm taking some heat. I just stay calm here. I don't move anything. And watch, it's getting close to my stop. It is, and I don't move a thing.
It did.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's going to hit both of my targets without me even doing anything. Watch, it hit the first one, boom, and does second one, and I'm out, and I'm up $430, which means I actually made $200 on the pre-fill, and another 200 some bucks on the actual trade. Which, you know what, $430, which is actually, $430 in how many seconds, Lee? Like, what is that? 30 seconds? Yeah.
It's excellent also that the NQ is only $5 a tick also.
Yeah. And so less focus on me and Lee, but we want to show you guys that we don't just, go over a methodology and show you a sim trade. This is the real deal, total transparency. And our members, again, Eva, Langford, Raphael, Larry, Fred, Weldon, Michal, I'm getting goosebumps. Just very happy that all of our members made a lot of money. So let me pause now and let you, Lee, give you an opportunity to show everyone what we're trying to do and give you an opportunity to be with us, because I'd love for everyone to be with us for the next earnings reports that are coming out soon. All right, guys.
Okay, folks. Let me just turn on my recorder for this because we studied the video, so I turned off the video. So first of all, let it start. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. We really appreciate that, you take time out of your life and come and give the time to us. It really means a lot. So what do we do here? What are we doing? We're trading earnings on stocks, very important big stocks, like the FANG stocks, but we also have a whole bunch of new opportunities that we think are really going to play out this quarter. And we're using futures. So you don't have to sit around waiting for, stock options. And just a reminder, I'm Lee Goldstein, the trading director of 10 Minute Trades. You can lose money trading futures. Trade carefully, please. So, seeing is believing. And that's really the truth, folks. Yesterday, we traded Netflix. Let me show you that trade. We've made money. I can't remember. Netflix was a wake-up call. We traded Netflix and lost money 3 quarters ago. And we realized, and it was also one of the most important things, is we realized with the help of one of our members who said, you know what, I think we ought to try different stop sizes. And it really opened our eyes, and we reworked all of our setups. And it's really been a factor across the board. But our stops are bigger and bigger over time because it keeps you safer. And not always, it's certain types of reports. So Netflix yesterday, Netflix, we know how reliable they are with their earnings. It's almost always a couple of seconds after the report, after the market closes, we get pulled into the market, and Netflix was another nice winning trade. The third quarter in a row, we made money on Netflix. That was yesterday. So, I mean, we're not doing this because we want you to come to the trade room and not see us make money. The idea is we want to teach you to be able to do this so that if you're not in the trade room, you could do it on your own. So Netflix, Tesla, both of them have made money, and we're going to have more and more trades, more classes. You know, I've got more winning trades that we've had. Let me just show you one more. Let me show you my favorite. My favorite trade, the one that I can't wait for, is always Apple. Apple, to me, has one of the best moves out of all the earnings trades. And I think this quarter should be very interesting because I think Apple's been, you know, a little bit challenged with what's going on in the markets. Not so easy with Apple. Just to give you an idea, one of our more recent Apple trades, the day that we traded Apple, we had over $2,000 in profits from the help that we got with the Apple trade. Apple tends to shoot very large, beautiful moves on their earnings. So here was July's Apple trade. But the nice thing about Apple, and I'm not going to give it away because we want you to come to our session. Here's the Apple trade, a burst, an instant burst, an instant profit, $890 in a second. It was a nanosecond trade. So, you know, we want to show you how to do this. We're going to have at least 10 more sessions. You know, we don't have NVIDIA on the schedule. We don't have PayPal on the schedule. There's all sorts of new, smaller events that we think are going to be tradable. So besides the big one, Facebook, Amazon, Intel and Microsoft, Apple, we're going to have some more events that we really believe we're going to be able to trade. So we have an awesome deal that we want to make. And let me just fix my slides. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I'm just human, you know, and I've just been trading, and it is really, what's the word? It's nerve-wracking to trade these trades. It is nerve-wracking, but it's very rewarding. So these are some of the upcoming sessions we'll have. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. You know, I'll take even more time than we took today. And here's what we're going to give you in the offer. At least 10 earnings workshops. It's a $997 value. You got Microsoft coming up. Facebook is coming up. They're all valued at $197, but you've seen we've made money. When we make money on an earnings trade, it's almost always well more than $197 on that trade. Intel, Apple is coming up. I forgot about Google. We've got Amazon. It's easily a $2,000 value for these workshops. And we're going to include 3 bonuses to this deal. If you take us up on this sale, we're going to give you a free month of JOBB software, an on-demand earnings class that we've already recorded from one of our recent sessions, okay? And another earnings class that's been recorded, the recaps, all the Q3 recaps. In other words, every earnings trade has a recording that goes with it, and they'll be included as well. It's a value of $2,179. Total value of $3,344. So here's what we're going to teach, okay? And here's what's in the master class. Which markets, which earnings we trade, the tools that we use, what's the one-click range trade setup? We didn't even talk about that today. the exact process, the trade setups, the stops, the targets, etc. You might have multiple setups for one trade, single contract ideas. Maybe you want to use trailing. Our software supports trailing, how to practice with market replay. All of these things, trade earnings now for just $297, www.tradeearningsnow.com. Our software does require you use NinjaTrader. Now, the deadline for this is Monday because all the trades are going to start taking place next week. We are going to have a small session, very possibly tomorrow afternoon. So I'll definitely email if that's going to be in the schedule. But we're going to have all of these extra workshops, at least minimum 6 more, and it's going to be more than that, I promise, for just $297, www.tradeearningsnow.com. We really need just one good trade is all you need to pay for this session. And then you have a lifetime of the skill to do this. And the idea is you could do this on your own. So frequently asked questions, what if you're already a trade room member? Do you get entry? So the deal is this, the trade earnings workshops, they are exclusive and they're not going to be in the regular trade room. So, you know, many of our regular traders know how to do this. They've been through a lot of the trades, but we're always teaching new things and new setups. And this is a separate subscription. Okay. What if you don't have the JOBB software? You can still trade with us. And we do have a 1-month bonus of the software. Okay. We'll also provide a special discounted price on the software for anybody that takes part in the package. We will also offer a special deal on the software with more details to follow. So look, for only one trade pays the $297, www.tradeearningsnow.com. It keeps you on top of the current setup, the current time, the current, you know, everything that we're doing with each stock and how to do it. So it's just $297, www.tradeearningsnow.com. You saw it with your own eyes. I don't really have to show you trade after trade after trade. Trading earnings has been, you know, one of the best things that we've done in our company. It's been a fantastic, fantastic thing that we've done. So definitely take advantage of this deal. I think it's too cheap at $297, but you know, we really want you to be here with us. We love having people join with us. Let me put up that final screen. So just tradeearningsnow.com, just $297. It's a good deal. Anybody have any questions about what they saw today or about anything about what we're offering?
Yes, I have a question
I want
for
to
you,
thank
Lee.
everybody. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Lee, tremendous job, honestly. Everyone should know, Lee came to us, what was it, 6 years ago? And he, just like me, I was a member. One of our other partners, Jay Offner, of course, the founder. And I was a member, came into the business side of the house, and Lee as well. He was someone that was just a former member. And what you just said about the earnings, I have to make sure I give credit where credit is due. This whole deal is totally Lee. We never even thought about trading stock earnings, and Lee's the one who came, just like Jay was the one who figured out how to trade our daily market moving reports with commodities and futures. Lee is the one who kind of pioneered this idea. So I wanted to ask this question. You asked, if there are any questions, and please in the chat, ask questions. We're here for you. We're not going to leave anyone hanging. Lee, we traded 2 earning reports this week. Can you just do a recap on how much money you personally made today, and then how much money you made on, what was it the other day, Netflix?
Netflix.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So how much did you make on Netflix?
So Netflix, I made 6 and change. I forget the exact amount. I think it was 630.
Yes.
And then today I made 585 on Tesla. 585.
Wow. 585. So that's over $1,000 right there. Plus add in the 480. So that's $1,500. Just on these 2 trades in terms of our company account. $1,500 on 2 trades, and as Lee mentioned, there's going to be a lot more trades. look, we're not into the hype and pushing and overselling. Our style and our way of gaining, people to join us is by being transparent. And I think that's exactly what we demonstrated today. And we're always ready to take the risk. It's not every trade that's a winning trade. And as you saw, it wasn't just a quick, we had to experience that hard part of the trade pulling back a little bit and taking some heat. So transparency is what you're going to get. You're going to learn a lot. If you learn just a little bit from today, I mean, you're really going to learn a lot. One of the things that Lee didn't mention is just like the amount of research that he does and Chantal does behind the scenes, to make sure that we have the best settings possible. I mean, it's definitely 297 is way too low. And for people who are, trade members already, we were very transparent about this. In Q1, we let folks in as part of the trade room memberships, because we want to make sure that if any changes, we didn't get anybody upset. We gave everyone a heads up, and we said that going forward, if this was going to be a separate thing. And so I just want to make sure that you guys understand where we're coming from. There's a lot that Lee does for this, and unfortunately, we can't just put this in as part of the regular membership, and that's why this is a separate thing. So this is recorded, and we'll definitely share this with everyone. Any other questions? And Lee, I'm gonna mute myself and just say thank you very much. And I'm really excited to for me, this is all new to me too. So I'm definitely going to be learning in the workshops, and I just want to thank you again for your great guidance today. And I'll let you close it out, but thanks everyone. And remember that tradeearningsnow.com, www.tradeearningsnow.com. Take a second just to go there so you have it. It's going down in just a few days. And, we are a boutique shop. It's not going to be 1,000 people in these workshops. In total transparency, we had about 60 to 70 people today live with us. And it's an intimate group here, in the workshops. You're going to get all the support that you need. All right, Lee, I'm going to pass it back to you, and I want to thank everyone.
Okay, Eric, thanks. Okay, folks, so I do want to remind everyone too that we have one more trade room tonight at 8:15. We have Australia's job report. So for regular trade room members, we'll be back at 8:15 for a quick Australia trade. So again, I just want to thank everybody. That was let me just show that video one more time. That was one nerve-wracking trade. There were a couple of people who said they missed the trade. So here was the moment of the trade. Tesla's earnings came out. Originally, I think that we thought it was going to be good earnings because we got filled. Well, what happened was we got filled early on an early pop in the market. And that early pop cost me about $20. Somehow I was able to wait for the market to change direction. I got filled. It's a little hard to see because it was so fast. I got filled right there. I was initially down. It looks like I almost got out flat. I was watching my price. I almost looks like it got out flat. And then Netflix didn't come out for almost another complete minute after that. And it still came out on the long side. Langford, it's totally a coin throw for you to stay in that trade. Do you realize how lucky you got by staying in after that early fill? I would not normally recommend that you do that because it could just as easily have been a short trade. Think about that for a second. So I would not stay in if you get an early fill. But we were early filled. We closed out the trade, and then we waited almost another complete minute for Tesla. They were quite slow today. And here's the move. It burst up. It looked like the trade was going to fail. And then it burst up again, and then it looked like it was going to fail again. But the price was still going up. I was thinking to myself, wow, their earnings must be awesome. And then they kept going up. It hit all my targets. and then their price reversed. And by the time it reversed, I don't care anymore, because with earnings, I'm just trading one trade. Look at that quick reversal, though. Netflix totally changed direction. So I'm assuming now that their earnings were not very good. But that, sometimes you don't know till the very end. So anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for spending the time with us. That was a lot of fun. It was exciting. That was the most nerve-wracking earnings trade so far, but that's the way earnings trades are. They definitely get your adrenaline going. They're exciting. They're fun. And if there's no other questions, join up with us. It's a fantastic deal. It's like Eric said, we're never greedy. www.tradeearningsnow.com. It's just $2.97. I want to thank everybody, and I'll see everybody this evening in the trade room for the Australia jobs report. Okay. So thanks, folks, and I'll see everybody later. Take care.